Hello everyone, and welcome to a game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from Cerberus Lord, and she is in a Kitakaze, a tier 9 Japanese destroyer. She is on the map Hotspot, and well, it's a tier 10 battle, but there are barely any tier 10s. There is a carrier, although only tier 8, and there is one raider. Now this replay is actually an older one. It's from around the time of Christmas, and there was a very nice message attached to it. So basically, our player here, Cerberus Lord, she is a mother of 2, and her son convinced her to send in this replay. She also said that, well, this replay was her treasure because it was played with family, so I think there was a bit of backseat gaming going on there, people screaming what to do and what not to do. Sounds rather hilarious. And well, she is making her way towards the cap here, but she is very careful. I mean, she is keeping an eye on those planes. I assume they are coming this way, or maybe they are not coming this way. Now, she does have a smoke ready if needed. The thing is, we don't know where the Alaska is just yet. Now, personally, I would have gone closer to this island, because this island is your safety net if there is something like a radar going on. Also, the way she's going in here, like, look at this island, right? Like, right now she can't turn right, which means if there are torps coming, or if there was a radar right now, then it would end pretty bad. Now, of course, she does want to torp that enemy smoke there. She also has to dodge the plane that's here. And, you know, if she can torp the Mogami, it would also be pretty nice, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And, well, I mean, we know that the Alaska is on the D side right now, which means now, even though there is an island in front of her, it's not that bad. She can disappear in smoke here. And she's reasonably angled against those two. Yeah, those. Like, if she was in a different position when those torps arrived, it could have ended rather badly. But so far, so good. And there is a torpedo hit on the enemy destroyer. And there is the Kitakaze. So, well, that was not the perfect place to sit for it. Like, he could have easily been behind this island in cover, it feels like. But, you know. And obviously, immediately the smoke screen is deployed because there seems to be a lot of enemy fire incoming, and, you know, no reason to take unnecessary damage. Now the friendlies are going to secure this cap, it looks like. On the other flank, the Kitakaze is trying to contest, but like the enemy has ships actually pushing in. They have a radar in position, and the friendlies are all just way too afraid to do anything, so I don't have high hopes for the other cap. And look at that, we have a Mogami here. Thing is, of course, Mogami's guns hurt quite a bit. Yeah, like, picking a gunfight with an enemy cruiser is not really going to go that well in the Kitakaze, most likely. But so far so good, the friendlies are still a ship ahead. They are going to grab the cap here, and I'm still rather concerned for the Kitakaze at E side, because there is now a carrier poking there as well, and the friendlies are just going to retreat further and further. There's also a Yamato here down in the south that I'm not sure what Yamato is doing. But okay. And yeah, the Kitakaze, the decap got taken out. I would have expected this much. He should have just run south and abandoned this cap. I mean, I know you wanna contest it, those islands might make you feel somewhat safe. But I mean, he left the safety of the island, it looks like. It's just that if your team, like, is too far in the back, then as a destroyer, you really gotta be careful, especially if the enemy team pushes in. Now, meanwhile, this cap is secured. There are some planes here. There is no reason to not use the anti-air. I mean, those torpedo bombers are not really much of a threat for the Kitakaze. Of course, they should be easily dodged. And because of the island, she's perfectly safe here, so why not use the anti-air to help out some teammates? Now there comes the question of where to next. The decap, I mean the friendlies could use another destroyer over there kinda. But those guys, they've abandoned the cap in the past. They basically have shown that they aren't trustworthy. So going over there seems a bit problematic. But you know, there are still ships here to clean up. And like, if the enemy ships here run away, then there isn't much point in chasing. But if they're willing to be aggressive, then a lovely little Kitakaze could just go and probably torp something. Now there is a Hindenburg pushing into the A cap. Hindenburg has some very powerful hydro. Also, I mean, the hydro is 6 kilometers, so if Cerberus Lord would be too close to that island, she has to be careful that she isn't getting hydroed through it. And it looks like she's aware of that because she is keeping a close eye on the Hindenburg. Now, that would be ideal for maybe this Yamato there to shoot at Hindenburg. I mean, this Yamato has been sailing in very strange ways so far. Maybe he can actually be useful for once. Wouldn't that be a nice change of events? And there are more planes incoming. So anti-air is switched on again and the smoke screen is deployed. You definitely don't want to be spotted in front of a Massachusetts, inside the Massachusetts secondary. So good choice with the smoke screen here. And I mean, now it's just probably time to puke. I mean, there's no reason to not just shoot the Massachusetts here anyway. It's not like the Massachusetts has any tools to deal with a destroyer inside the smoke screen. He seems to be coming closer and, well, Kitakaze is a nice, lovely pew-pew. So the nose is already burning, so I have a feeling she's trying to shoot the back part of the ship because she wants to set another fire. Well, and now the nose isn't burning anymore, so I guess now it doesn't matter where she hits. Meanwhile, also... Oh, there is the lovely fire. Checking for some torps here. I mean, there's a reload boost already. She can't just... Oh, there's another fire. So she can't just go torp here. And that was an unfortunately accurate salvo of the Massachusetts. If she needs more torps, she can always go with the reload booster. She's keeping that in reserve just in case she needs them if he gets too close. But I mean, there's a miss already in this mark here. And like, there is no way the Massachusetts should be able to survive long enough to become a real threat. And well, the torps do the trick. Now this flank is pretty much cleared. There is still the Yamato, but I mean the Yamato is so far in the north, there is not much point in chasing her down. I mean, the Yamato is broadside, so maybe the friendly battleships can do something. The friendly Yamato is, well... I mean, maybe he will also be useful at some point again. Now at the decap... Oh, we've just lost an Amagi over there. I'm still not entirely sure what the friendly ships at the decap are actually up to. Now they abandoned this cap when they had a destroyer, then they went back in when the destroyer was dead, then they sat behind an island so they couldn't actually do anything about the cap. The Henry is still down there in the south looking confused. But you know, overall the friendlies are ahead, so... Well, meanwhile we have planes incoming, and those planes might just find a destroyer per accident. And I mean, I assume he wants to dive bomb Bismarck. So anti-air goes on because she's detected anyway, but you know, there aren't any enemies close by who could do an awful lot. Actually quite a few plane kills there. Now the friendly forces here at the A cap certainly need to do something. Like, I mean, they could push B, or they could go more like center here, maybe push D. Yamato Dino, like, having an enemy ship like there can be a bit of an issue, because if the friendlies are just now sailing towards like the B cap, they show broadside towards the Yamato, and that's always the problem. If you have an enemy that's hiding away towards the zone wall, if you chase them down, sometimes you waste too much time, which is very bad. And if you ignore them, then you might just be in a crossfire, which might also be pretty bad. I'd say, like, if they had high explosive spammers, they could probably farm this Yamato, but like with battleships, you, like, those are not very good high explosive battleships, and the Yamato is angled against armor piercing. If you want to hunt down this Yamato, it will take too much time. So what the friendlies always could do is like ignore her a bit more and go more like through friendly camp here into a center position, use that island to block the Yamato. Now torpedoes are on the way towards the Richelieu. There might also be a Benham around there because there is a smoke screen. And it looks like she is trying to... There is no point in smoking this Yamato, I will say. Smoking a battleship does absolutely nothing for the most part. Like, if the battleship fires her guns, she is detected anyway. It's... Oh, down goes the Richelieu. That was lovely. So, smoking a battleship only helps if that battleship is trying to disengage or something. Like, for example, if that battleship wanted to turn around, then that smoke screen can certainly provide cover for that, so that you don't get shot into broadside, or if you are on low health and you want to disengage to heal up, then a smoke screen can be invulnerable. But if you want to actually shoot your guns and engage ships, then it's going to do nothing. I mean, you could, if your reload is long enough, you might drop into concealment in between shots a little bit, but those few seconds are not going to do much. Now, I think we are going to speed this up here a little bit, because currently Cerberus Lord is making her way towards the D cap. The friendlies are a little bit behind, and I could use a cap. D seems, well, right there open for the taking, so Benham is in B. And there is also a raider ship up there, so there isn't much point in going there, I think. But taking the D cap seems like a very good idea. Now I would have... Oh, we just lost the story. I would have loved it. Again, if this Yamato did anything a little bit more useful with her hit points. But you know. The enemies are, what, like 40 points or so ahead. Both teams have the same amount of cap zones. It's a pretty close battle so far. And it still could go either way. Same amount of ships left for both teams. The problem is the friendlies have to take a cap and the enemies just have to defend. And this Yamato tries her very best just to be so utterly useless. Like, what he is doing now? I mean, he has this island between him and, for example, the Alaska. Probably, maybe he can get some shots at the chars. He's also technically broadside against those guys. It's like, why isn't he like somewhere here, nose pointed towards those guys? I mean... Now that's a good smoke screen here, by the way. There is the Rhone pushing in behind the Kitakaze. Kitakaze can provide the smoke spotting. The Rhone just has to sail into the smoke screen and is in a perfect position to like farm all of those guys. Enemy radar is too far away to do anything about it. Oh, and there is a Charles. So what is the Rhone doing? The Rhone is turning away from the friendly smoke screen because, you know, why try to hide in smoke and probably be like safe against those planes and so on if you could just run away instead? And be shot at while doing so. So that's always the problem with trying to smoke up an ally, you know. The allies might just say, nope, you wanted me to be safe in smoke. I'll have none of that. I just enjoy paying too much. On the bright side, Cerberus Lord managed to flip this cap, and now the friendlies have a chance to overtake the Amiens points, and they actually will. So there is only 2 minutes 45 seconds left. The friendlies might just take this on points. the Charles turned around. Now that means she isn't getting told, but that also means the cap is currently not being threatened. We don't know exactly where the Benham went. The Yamato is still inside the A cap, trying to be as useless as possible, although he does have shots at the the Alaska right now. So hooray for that, maybe. I mean, if this Yamato would have stayed into a reasonable position, some of those enemy cruisers would have been deleted a long time ago. And Cerberus Lord has come to the conclusion that if you want to get something done, you gotta do it yourself. I'm not sure if I would have been brave enough to open fire there on the Alaska, but you know, maybe it's needed. Maybe it's not though, that the friendlies are in a lead. And there, the Yamato actually got a hit in. And the Alaska is done for. Now this is pretty much one, I would say. It's 1.5 minutes left. The friendlies now have a decent lead. The enemy is trying to retake the decap, but oh, there is the... If the Benham actually tops the Yamato and sails into A, this might still be a problem. Now Cerberus Lord is going to try to torpedo the enemy Yamato, which might be needed if we lose the friendly one. We'll see. And there are planes incoming. If he gets plane spotted here, that might be a problem. And yeah, she's plane spotted. The carrier dropped fighters there. The Yamato actually had high explosive loaded, and that was unfortunate there. But she got a fire on the Yamato, or she got taken out. I mean, there was no smoke remaining. There wasn't really much, like the carrier, there wasn't much defense against that, I suppose. But you know, hopes are on the way. The friendlies are still in a good spot. Might actually be a hit on the Yamato there. And yeah, there is one. And there is the win. Yeah, with the results, and while it might not have been the most spectacular game, it was well played, I would say, overall. And yeah, Cerberus Lord also wrote that basically her son convinced her to send in this replay, basically to show that an old woman could beat up young people. And isn't that reason enough just to feature this? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this, and I'll see you guys next time.